Right, let's start here now. Advocate Malesela Teffo has been removed from the role of legal practitioners. A curator has been appointed for Teffo. He is no longer allowed to his bank accounts used when practicing as a lawyer. For more on this, I'm joined by reporter Heidi Giokos, who was watching that case for us today and knows exactly what was said in the judgment. Heidi, just tell me in terms of this complaint that he had against the SAPS, for instance. Remember, during the Senzo Mayua murder trial, was there anything said about that by the bench of judges that delivered judgment today?
Yes, so a number of complaints, Maseko, were listed. About 22 complaints were received by the LPC, and this is why they decided to bring this application forward. Most of these complaints stem from fraud, misappropriation of funds, and misconduct. What we do understand is that the majority of the complaints are linked to the fact that Malesela Teffo would take money from clients and rather take money before a service was rendered and then not render the service. And this, of course, became highly problematic because clients would be so desperate to have their matters handled by Malesela Teffo because he was appointed as their legal practitioner, and he would then take the money but not assist them. This, of course, became highly problematic, and the court really speaking to the fact that this is basically theft and, of course, misappropriation of funds. And this is not how any legal practitioner should behave. Citizens, of course, head to legal practitioners to be protected and assisted, and he took advantage of his power, the court found. But I want us to listen to what one of the justices that was reading out the judgment had to say about one of the complaints, specifically when it came to the South African Police Service.
On the 25th of September 2019, the respondent attended at the offices of South African Police Services Provincial Office, located at number 16 Empire Road in Parktown in Johannesburg, to represent an ex-South African police member at an arbitration hearing. Instead of going to the arbitration venue to wait for the arbitrator, he first went to the office of Colonel Smith, where he confronted her about the affidavit that was filed in the Baloyi murder. He then went to the office of the Brigadier Giokos, the head of labor litigation, in order to confront her. Statements by Brigadier and Colonel Smith were referred to. Following these unwarranted attacks, a criminal case of assault, criminal injury, trespassing, and intimidation was immediately opened at the Hillbrow police station, and the respondent was escorted from the building by uniformed police officials from the information which the applicant has received. The aforementioned conduct does not constitute the only time that the SAPS and the state attorney personnel have been assaulted and harassed by the respondent. The decision was then taken to launch an agent application to the South African Gauteng High Court, where the SAPS sought the Honourable Court's intervention in granting an interdict against the respondent, which would prohibit him from entering the offices of the South African Police Services Provincial Office, as well as the offices of the Johannesburg State Attorney, coupled with ancillary relief of the respondent, will be interdicted from intimidating, threatening, victimizing, harassing, and making defamatory comments to and about the SAPS and the State Attorney.
And Heidi, I don't even know if we are able to actually still call him advocate at the moment, since he's been disbarred, but now it means that he needs to hand over his certificate of enrollment, obviously. I don't see him doing this anytime soon. What will happen if my thought comes true?
Yes, so you're right in saying that I do not think we should refer to him as advocates anymore, because he has been struck off the role as a legal practitioner. He's basically been disbarred, so he no longer qualifies as a legal practitioner, that being as an advocate. So this is a huge, huge decision by the court, and of course the LPC was very confident that the evidence that they had and brought forward to the court was able to justify that they felt as though he did not practice properly as a legal practitioner. There was a lot of misconduct, there was a lot of disrespect, there was a lot of dishonesty that happened in the courts, and as I just mentioned, the courts just found as though that the LPC was accurate in wanting him to be struck off the roll. What's important here is that a curator has been appointed to take over the bank accounts that he used as a legal practitioner. So all the money that was deposited into that specific account by clients has been handed over to the curator, and the curator will take over from this. But a really scathing judgment by the two justices indicating that this is not how a legal practitioner should operate. What's also important here is that the justices said that there was no evidence submitted by Malesela Teffo to basically support his argument that this was all fabricated and all an attack on him. The court's also finding that his attacks on Police Minister Bheki Cele as well as President Cyril Ramaphosa are disingenuous and not something that a legal practitioner should be getting involved in. But I want us to perhaps listen to what the one justice had to say with regards to what they found, basically the order finding him to be dishonest and striking him off the roll. Let's listen in.
Following order is made. 1. The respondent, Advocate Malesela Teffo, is hereby removed from the role of legal practitioners. 2. The respondent must surrender and deliver his certificate of enrollment as a legal practitioner to the registrar of this honorable court. 3. In the event of the respondent failing to comply with the terms of this order, detailed in paragraph 2, within 2 weeks from the date of this order, the sheriff of the district in which the certificate is be authorized and directed to take possession of the certificate to hand it to the register of the honorable court. The respondent is prohibited from handling or operating on his banking accounts used in receiving monies for the client. 5. Johan van Staden, the director of the Gauteng Provincial Office of the applicant or his successor as such, in his capacity as such, be appointed as a curator, bonus, to administer and control the banking accounts of the respondent, including accounts relating to insolvent and deceased estate and any estate under curatorship connected to the respondent's practice as a legal practitioner, and including, if applicable, also separate banking accounts opened and kept by the respondent at the Bank of the Republic of South Africa.
All right, Heidi Giokos live for us in Pretoria. Let's leave it there for now.